Welcome back, ladies and gents. I'm your host, Illustrator 1. This is going to be mission number 3 in our Sniper Elite Resistance 100% stealth walkthrough on Authentic. This mission, and I'm sorry if I butcher the name, is called SMG Sabotage. So there's a total of 19 collectibles. Remember, the starting locations don't actually count as collectibles or anything like that, so there's 19 real collectibles in this mission. Of course, we're going to show you how to get through this by getting 3 stars, the optional objective, and doing the kill list in the particular kill challenge that is requested by the game. This was a very, very tough mission to do stealthily, and I hope you guys enjoy. We only do 1 kill, and that's the kill target, and 1 knockout. That's right. This entire map, 1 knockout, and he is a must. There's like literally no way to get around. I spent like an hour and a half trying to see if I could, and I'll explain that once we get up there. But this is a great mission. I actually really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay, and I will guide you through all the collectibles, and away we go.
From the ongoing analysis of Vertigo's files, we now know that this new superweapon involves the nearby district of Fourvière. There, a greatly increased Nazi presence throughout the region is being overseen by an unusually high number of Gestapo, who are operating out of offices situated within the Hotel Terminus. Among their concerns are high volumes of suspicious cargo passing through the train station. Last we knew, local resistance attempted to inspect some of the cargo, but we have since lost contact with them. Locate them, should you wish. While we don't yet know where these shipments are headed nor what they are, we believe some of these supplies are being stored within the hotel. Your orders are to recover intel from the Gestapo offices, inspect the cargo in the hotel cellar, identify what warrants such protection at the train station, and use your discretion regarding how best to deal with anything you should find. Good luck.
If Vertigo was right, the Nazis are cooking up some kind of super weapon. If I can find a way to the hotel and the train station, maybe I can find out what they're up to.
Alright, so immediately from the start, if you just turn around to your left, is going to be the first eagle statue that you need to shoot down. There's a total of 3 of them in this. And you want to do it from this location because there's no enemies around to be able to hear the bullet, of course. Alright, so next up we're going to be heading down into town. I've got a specific route that I'm going to be doing to kind of guide us in a good direction. Again, it's kind of like a figure 8 kind of thing, but going in a clockwise kind of manner. Now, the good thing about a level like this, the fact that it's nighttime, meaning that you can, I wouldn't say get away with, moving faster, but you're going to be able to move a little bit quicker because enemies don't spot you as easily as they would in the daytime. But you still can get spotted from literally over 100 meters away from enemies. So you still have to be careful. It's just you got a little bit more leniency when it comes to that. So this first section here is going to have a total of about 4 or 5 collectibles that you need to get before we head over to the bridge. This is another one of those missions where there's trucks, motorcycles, enemies kind of going throughout the level, and they can cause problems, of course, because of them moving so fast back and forth. So you always got to keep an eye out whenever you hear those trucks and stuff like that, and make sure that you're staying stealthy. Alright, so once you're past this guy here, there's 2 guards right there. Just make your way down here to the right. I've already marked the location of where we're headed to next. You can do these in any order. Like, you don't have to do it in the order that I'm doing. Let's say if you did a normal playthrough of the game first, you weren't trying... Let's say you weren't trying to, or you want to use this to get every collectible. I mean, it's totally up to you. I don't recommend playing this on Authentic and then going for collectibles. I recommend playing it on a much normal mode, then getting your collectibles. Because then when you try to do the Authentic version of it, you can actually go back and start from some of those different starting locations, which really kind of speed things up a little bit, but also puts you in a better kind of situation instead of starting from the very beginning. But since we're getting all collectibles, you got to follow a path that's going to be hopefully the path of least resistance, and that we can get right into where we need to go. So what we're doing right now is we're going to pick up a workbench. This workbench isn't too difficult to pick up. As you can see, we really haven't had to mess with too many enemies as of yet. There are 2 guards that are down in this area. He's the only one you really got to worry about. The other guy is kind of like sleeping. You can't really see him, but he's straight to the right there. Even though we almost like totally pass him. Right there's the door that we need to get in, but I just didn't know when he was going to turn around yet, so I didn't want to risk it. You see the guard right down there. He kind of moves back and forth, but you still should be okay without him seeing. This was like the first time that when I came down into this area where the other guard was kind of like doing something he didn't normally do, so I was a little more kind of worried about it, so I kind of went a little slower here. But essentially just wait till he does his turn over again, and then we're going to pick up the bolt cutters. The reason you want to get the bolt cutters is because it makes, obviously, going into the room that we need to break into, which gives us the workbench, a little bit faster than actually picking the lock. Now you see that guy, he's kind of hanging against the thing there, but you won't be able to see. He's kind of not looking in this direction, so you should be good to go. Once we've got the bolt cutters, now we can go ahead and unlock the door and then grab the workbench.
Okay, this'll help.
This is an SMG workbench, by the way. And there's 3 of them total in this level. Once that is done, then go ahead and head up straight to the left. The guy moves to the right, so he should not be able to see you, so you can sneak right by him. There's going to be 2 guys that don't start triggering their conversation until you get close enough. Get all the way up here, and then we're going to throw a bottle. But we're going to throw it over here on the left and go by the right side. Now, there are a few things that I don't show you in this level. Like, there's quite a bit of safes. I'll point out one of the safes. There's a safe directly to our right if you go down. However, that safe doesn't have any collectibles or anything that you would really need, just maybe a different type of weapon if you want it. But it's really straight down to the right there, and the keys are very close to that as well if you want to get every safe. But it's not part of the collectibles, so trying to stick to the collectibles as I make these missions so much longer anyways.
Which explains why we lost contact. Looks like I'm gonna have to finish what they started.
Due to the fact that we're getting collectibles on Authentic, which already just ramps this up because we go in places you wouldn't normally need to go when you're just trying to complete objectives. But once we come into this room here, if we go into the back room in the left, there's going to be 1 guard. He always stands in the opposite area looking in the direction that you don't have to worry about. So go ahead and freely come in here. I've never seen this guy move. And grab this here, which is a hidden item. Again, remember my hidden items that I put my timestamps on in the, if you look below in the description, those are particular to what I'm getting when I'm getting them. So they may not match up with what the times or what the number that the game provides you with. So just, you know, if you're missing one of the hidden items in this level, then just go through the hidden items that you see me do, and obviously you'll find the one that you're looking for. So this guy could be in different places when you come in. If he's sitting right here, then you can go ahead and get the beat on him here by going over to the right side. This makes it a little quicker. Once he gets up, he's going to do this big kind of like U-turn, and then he's going to stop in the corner. Now, here's the trick. See, he does 2 different things. Either he stops in the corner, and then he stays there for a good, 20 seconds, and you're free to go. Or he will immediately get up and move back to that location. You see him right there. So what we're picking up is a part of our objective as well as a collectible. It's 2 in 1. This is a personal letter.
Letter says there's another safe house somewhere in the town center.
So as I told you, he goes back into this corner here, right? Now, like I said, most of the time he'll stay there for about 20 seconds. But there is one odd occasion where he'll immediately start moving. And so if that does happen, you're still okay. You can just get to the opposite side like this here. And hopefully he won't be able to see you. I do get pretty close here, but luckily we had a little bit of cover guarding that, so he wasn't able to actually get us. Again, that only happened like one other time. I did this section, a good 3 or 4 times to see what he does. And he always did the other thing where he'd wait there 20 seconds, and that's the one time he didn't. So you know, these games, it's really hard to say whether or not they're going to do the exact same thing every time. So there is a little bit of kind of, you know, guesswork involved sometimes. But most of the time, they usually do end up, you know, doing their patterns faithfully. But you should be able to get by it either way because I showed you both ways. Always make sure you collect your bottles because they are really going to come in handy in this level. We're going to pick up our next collectible, which is going to be a poster right here. And now the first section, this is the next hidden item, is done. And now we're going to make our way across the bridge. When you repeat missions, you won't have to be on this side anymore. You actually can do the alternate spawning from the other side. But here we go. So there's going to be a collectible on the bridge. Lots of enemies on the bridge as well.
Too many eyes, too many lights. Stay sharp, Walker. Gotta be a reason for this much security.
This is where you can exfiltrate if you go straight ahead that way. That's one of your exfiltration points that you can do, which is the one that we're actually going to do once we come back. So just wait until the alignment is correct and move on up. There are snipers. As you can see, the little kind of that light flashing and stuff. That's just letting you know that a sniper is looking in your direction. So always be on the move. Don't stand too long in any one location and keep going. Doesn't mean you're spotted. It just means that he's kind of looking in that direction. You need to get down. But you can freely move straight ahead now. Right up here on this little box is going to be your next collectible. Right here in this location, about 1/3 past the bridge. This is another hidden item, and we've picked up all the hidden items already. So continue to move on. Everything should be good to go for you to move straight ahead. There is one guard that's going to be right here, but he always looks in that direction, therefore you can easily get by him. There's a guard, you can see his light. He does kind of like a circle pattern, and then he waits on the right side. If you look at the right side, there's actually a stair and a ladder that you can take that will get you down to the bottom area, and you can go that way if you want. Otherwise, you can stay this way, depending on, you know, what objectives you want to tackle first. Since we're going to tackle kind of like I said in a clockwise pattern from left up to the top and then to the right and then back here again to finish the mission. This is the route that I decided to take. But of course, it's up to you. As long as you've got the information on where the collectibles and stuff are, you can tackle any of these objectives in any order you want. But I try to do them in a way that just kind of feels like they flow, and they're kind of moving from one to the next, and I'm not sitting too much, you know, with you guys not having anything to actually look at. I don't want to waste your time. So where we're heading is going to be finding the secret resistance location here that's inside the city. But again, you always have to watch out for those trucks and motorcycles as well. Sometimes the motorcycles move very slow, so you have to be very cautious with them. There is I believe there is a guard up there shining the light, so you do need to be careful to make sure you're not seen by him. There is a guard that patrols inside that little nook right there, and there is a guard that's going to be straight ahead too. So be careful here. I wouldn't recommend going up in there. There is also a safe here. However, this safe is one of those safes that does not require you to get it because it just gives you extra ammo if you want it. Most of the times, the safes will have something like, you know, non-lethal ammo or some different type of ammo in like a specific weapon. But we won't need that because what we're doing is completely stealthy, and you don't need a bunch of weapons with the way that we're playing this game. But I implore all of you out there, right there is a safe straight ahead. If you want to have some fun and play this game in a completely different way than what you see here, by all means, enjoy the mechanics of the game. I just really, really enjoy and prefer to feel like what a sniper would actually do. I find it unrealistic that a sniper in this situation would go out and just kill this, and almost got caught there, which is pretty hilarious. But because it's nighttime, as I said, you can get away with a little bit more. So that was a close one, but we were good to go. Yeah, you always don't have to play it the way that I do. I just always try to challenge myself, and I play games sometimes the way they're not meant to be played. I'm pretty sure the developers never thought anyone would go through and play this like a Splinter Cell game. But that's how I play these games. I mean, I snipe only when I need to. I love the mechanics of the sniping. I love the wind, the you know, how you have to adjust your sights and all that stuff. And of course, the kill cams are amazing. But you know, I like to save those for the real targets because it feels even more sweet when you actually land one of those shots. But we're going to enter this building here, and then we're going to go out the back side. There is one guard that patrols this backside area, so just be on the lookout for him. I'm not sure where he'll be when you come through here. And what you're going to do as soon as you exit, immediately turn around to the right, and we're going to climb. You want to do this first because there's a safe that actually has a collectible inside it, and if you don't want to go loud and proud by using a satchel charge, you want to grab the keys, and the keys are located exactly where your secondary objective is, which is, you know, find the resistance location. So, I mean, this invasion thing, from what I hear, I think people could actually enter into your game and then try to kill you. I think that's pretty cool. But like I said, I'm not really into the big multiplayer stuff. Maybe we'll try it out some point a little bit later. It might be fun. Make sure you grab those keys right there on that table.
Oh, thank goodness you're not a German. You must be
A trusty sidearm never lets me down. Glad you're in one piece, mate. Keep quiet and stay hidden. I'll let Carillon know you're safe.
Maybe once we kick the Nazi pigs out of France, I'll tell you why we call her the fortress. Good hunting, English.
All right, so at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to move to the building right next. So we're going to go exactly the way we just came. However, make sure you're looking out because there is a guard that can be back here. As you can see, he's coming up right here, so we're going to have to be a little patient. He just does a big circle around and then right back into that same room. Of course, you can take him down if you don't mind having, you know, knockouts or kills and things like that. So, you know, if you want to use this guide just to show you where enemies are while getting achievements and all your collectibles, you could use that as well. You don't have to leave everybody alone like I do. It's a challenge that I find, but not everybody has to do that. I mean, it's play the game the way you want. I'm just here to help you, to show you where things are, and to show you how to challenge, you know, how you can challenge yourself a little bit. So this guy comes pretty fast. So I probably could have grabbed everything I needed to if I would have done it quickly, but I decided not to. I decided not to do it because it was just too close for me, because it takes a little while because there's about 4 things in there that you need to pick up, and it's so hard to pick the one thing you need to pick up, which is the collectible. So it's much easier just to wait for this guy to move. It takes obviously an extra 30 seconds, but at least you know you're not going to ruin your stealth at this point. I know it's a little ridiculous that they don't see the safe is open, but as you can see, there's a lot of things that you can select in there, and it's kind of hard to get the one you want. And that's a personal letter there. All right, so now we're going to go to the, this is an optional thing. This is not a collectible, but it's straight ahead. This is where you can have an alternate spawning point. So once you get this alternate spawn point and you complete the mission, when you go back and say play it on a different difficulty level, you can use this as your starting point. There's you get one always automatically. That's the one you start with, and then there's always 2 other ones so far in the levels. So it says 3, but really there's only 2 you're unlocking because you automatically unlock the first one. Now, a little note here is look at the location we're in. And then I'm going to show you where 2 of the Stone Eagles are. There's also a sniper rifle you can pick up here. Right there is one of them. You can go ahead and shoot it if you want. The only problem is it will be heard, and then they will start to congregate on your location. Now, it won't ruin your stealth, but you'll have a lot of enemies that will just start to kind of head towards your location. And we don't want to do that, so we're not going to take them out until a little bit later, where we can get them all in one shot and not have anybody be alerted. So we did get by that one guard there. That's why we moved super quick to make sure. Now, this is a very, very tricky spot to get around because there are vehicles that go in and out. So make sure no trucks are coming, and then run across. There's no guards right here. Now, once you enter, there's going to be a guard to your left. I don't know where he's going to be during yours. If your timing is a little different, just trying to give you the whereabouts of where he is. You just saw a motorcycle guy go by. They will continue to come in and out through this area. This is also where one of your main objectives is, but we're going to circle back that, you know, a little bit later on in the mission. Right now, we're just going to grab this collectible here. So what you're going to want to do is get underneath this area right here. You want to be right here because, like I said, there are vehicles that still come through. Now, what you're picking up is actually going to be another one of those documents right here. And you want to pick it up now because we're going from top back down to the middle. So get close enough to where their conversation starts. Go ahead and go into the crawl, or not crawl, but the prone position. They won't see you and the conversation will continue to go. That's how you know you haven't been seen. And get over here in this corner. This was a little tricky. It took me a few times to figure out how to do this because I tried from the other side, but there's guards on the other side that are patrolling back and forth. So it's better to go on this side. And there's only one way to get up here, and that's these stairs and the stairs on the opposite side as well. Once this guy leaves, then you can make your way up. Make sure no motorcycles are coming, of course. Try to do this quickly as there are guards patrolling. Grab it, and now we're going to head over to the a little bit more top of the map, which is going to be another collectible that we're going to get. So everything works out. You can head over here before anyone's able to see you. And make sure you get down as quickly as possible because they can see you from quite a bit away there. As you can see, the other guy comes right back too, so timing needs to be as perfect as you can get it. Crawl through here, and then we're going to make our way across here. So what we're ultimately doing is heading towards the train station because we need to grab an objective at the train station as well as take out the train. But before we do that, we have to come over here, which this is obviously a part of the collectibles. It's not something you have to do 100%. So you could do two different ways. Either you could go through this left side here and over to the other side, or you can do the right. I chose to do the right because there are less guards. There's a lot of guards that patrol that front area, but there's only really one guard here in the middle back, and then there's another guard on the right side back as well. Once this truck goes, we're going to use a bottle to get this guy looking in a different direction. They trade places with each other eventually if you want to wait, but the timing is so hard if you do that that it's not even worth it. So go ahead and throw the bottle to get him looking in that direction. Of course, make sure no trucks are looking, and then head behind. Where we're ultimately going is right across over there where that grass is on the other side. And we're going to be heading up into that kind of area up there. There's a ladder that you can do. Once this truck passes, make sure the other guy is going back to his normal position. And of course, make sure this guy is a little bit back enough to where he won't be able to see you and immediately get down. He could be in a few different spots. He might not be right there, so you should be good to go either way. If you think you have enough time, you can go ahead and get into the grass now. Actually, right now, you have enough time to go ahead and climb the ladder there. But I don't risk it just because I don't want to get this far and then have something, you know, awful happen. Do you see how in some grass you're able to continue to move without your silhouette showing? So it just really depends on how tall the grass is where you're currently at. If it looks like the grass isn't as tall as you would be if you're hunched over crawling, then, or not crawling, but whatever you would call that right there, crouched walking. Once he's in that position, you can get up. You do have a guy on the right side that can see you sometimes. You want to make sure he's not directly looking, as you can see him down there. Do not climb this ladder yet. There's two guards. One guard is heading down those stairs right now. He is going to come over into this area, as well as the guy that looks, or he's directly below you. He will like literally stare right at the ladder. And yes, they will actually climb the ladders and follow you if they see your silhouette enough. I don't think there's really any point in this game where an enemy won't follow if they see a little bit of something and they don't know what it is. I think it's funny that when the guy's almost going to get run over, his AI runs really fast. All right, so once you think you're clear and you're not going to be seen, you can go ahead and move up. Now, we've got one guy that we need to avoid. This is a sniper. And this is the location, which is right across from the train station, and this is where you're going to pick up your next collectible. Again, you don't have to go here if you don't care about the collectibles. That's totally up to you. Just doing my job to show you where they are. Now, this guy, I think he may have been glitched on mine. He'll stay right there forever and never move unless you do a distraction. However, the distraction doesn't actually get him to move where the distraction goes. It just gets him to go back to his normal patrol. So that's what happened on mine, at least. So go in and grab that. Pick up anything else you see here. You've got a little bit of time.
Use this sniper rifle.
Other than that, if you don't throw a distractible item, at least for me, the guy just stood there the entire time, never moved, and then we wouldn't have been able to grab that without taking him out. Now we're going to head towards the train station right here. So when we exit, we'll pretty much go exact the way we came. Just need to be patient. Want to make sure he doesn't see us. Remember, you got the other patrol guy that's going to be coming as well. And you've got the guy down here. Now, you don't want to move just yet. He's going to turn into this direction. You also have to worry about the guy that's coming in that direction because he can see you. And he will get a little glimpse of us, but it won't be anything that would get us caught. But he will come over and investigate into this area, even from that distance there. So you got to be careful and try to get over here as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's really hard to get the timing there. Now, we're going to be waiting here for just a few moments. You're going to see the one guy come all the way, then he's going to head up the ladder. This is our chance to go ahead and move. There's another weapon you can pick up right here if you want to change weapons. I just kind of show you where they are so you can take a look at them.
I know it like the back of my hand.
So this guy, for whatever reason, he looks in this direction for quite a long time. Now, notice the guy that's coming from the left. He's the one that's supposed to replace the guy that's using the flashlight looking around. So once they get back into their normal patrol pattern there, then you should be able to go. All right, so we're going to make our way across to the train station. Now, there's two entrances that you can do. You can go straight up the stairs and then get in through the front, or you can head through that little tunnel in the bottom, which will get you located behind the train station. And I think that's a better route to take than to go up the stairs out in the front and then come through, because there's a lot of guards that look in that direction. There are, as you can see in the top left corner, you can see that guy right there. So you want to wait here so that he doesn't get a full glimpse of you, and then once he turns around, then we can move forward. This guy here in the grass just does a circular control pattern, so it's not too difficult to figure out how to get around him. Once you come over here, go ahead and go into the prone position and get in the grass. As I said, there's two different ways to get in here. You could go up those stairs, but I just feel that that's more risky. So my suggestion, and this is a part of a main objective, so you do need to come into the train station, not just for a collectible that you're going to get, but also for the main objective. Once he gets a little far back, then you should be able to go ahead and continue to move and start running, because there's no enemies directly to hear you. Now once you're in here, the only entrance up into the back is on the right side. So you got about 2 guards to deal with here on this right side when you come up. Make sure you do pick up that satchel there, because you will need a satchel. But there's other satchels to pick up as well. It's just that's the one that comes directly in your line of sight. So what we're going to do is this guard's going to be coming back in this direction. We're going to throw a bottle because we want to interrupt what he does. He comes right to that back area where the stairs are, but he takes way too long. So if you can distract him and get him looking, then as you can see, it creates an opening for you to head inside the train station. There's one guard that patrols inside the train station. He just goes back into that middle section and then back to the front and then back to the middle section over and over again. And there's one guard that patrols up here. You'll see him walking right there. My suggestion, if you don't see him at this point, then you need to wait at these stairs. Don't move forward because there's nowhere to hide. And if he does come through at that point that you're trying to get into the middle, then you're screwing yourself over. So it's going to be on the bench here. There's going to be one of the collectibles. And then, of course, you have a main objective that's going to be inside the room on the opposite side. He just does a patrolling pattern, which is pretty much a circle back to a long straight line when he comes out of the office there. So go ahead and grab that. He'll look in the window there a little bit. That's a personal letter. And then enter into this room. See, another satchel charge. Once you're far enough away, you can run. That is also a classified document, so it is also part of the mission.
Cargo, and all over France. Most of it heading to Site D. Yeah, that can't be a coincidence.
This part can be a little tricky, as this guy is going to go back out where he came. What you want to do here, and I'm going to show you the route you're going to want to take as you come back, is we're going to come all the way down and then head over into this direction because that's where we need to go next. So I'm going to go ahead and mark our next location where we're going on this corner here. Immediately we're going to get up and start running. Just enough that it'll distract him till he'll turn around and then you can get around him like that. Obviously that's really hard to do, but that's your best method. Other than that, the other method is just to wait until he comes back. But sometimes you can manipulate the AI to do what you want them to do. So now we're going to head back through the backside here, but we're going to have to wait a little bit because you do remember that there is one guard here. I don't know exactly where he is. I think he's sitting where he normally is. Yep. So we have to wait for him to come back. Once he passes, then we are free to move straight down this area. And what we're going to pick up next is going to be a workbench, which will be really close to where we need to do our next main objective, which is to take out the train. And that is why we picked up a satchel. There's also a satchel inside the room where the workbench will be. So if you don't have a satchel at this point, don't fret. Once he is passed, then you can start to move out. Just make sure you're looking across. And as I said, because it's nighttime, line of sight's a little harder to see, so you can get away with things you wouldn't normally. If this was the daytime, you probably would be caught on this straight line as the dude behind you would have turned around by this point. But because of the, nighttime, can't see as much, so it allows you to get away with just a little bit more than you would on a normal daytime map. My suggestion is to grab the workbench first, because if you were to explode the train, then it's going to be much, much more difficult to actually grab the workbench because, well, I mean, once that thing explodes, there's going to be like 7, 8, 9, 10 enemies that are just going to surround the area, and it makes it really hard to get right back to this spot. So
looks important for whatever they're up to. Reckon someone should put it out of commission.
So we're pretty much right next to the room we need to go into. We're just right on the other side of it, so we're just going to make our way to the right. Obviously make sure no guards are looking. There's one guard that patrols right to our right too, so make sure you're looking out for him. He's all the way down there. Enter into the window. And again, there's another satchel charge if you need it, which you are going to need it, obviously. Now, I tried to do this next objective after we get the workbench a few different ways. So I spent about 2 hours. I'm not kidding you. I literally spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to get this train and blow it up and make it out. And then I finally found a good route to take to do it. So there's another satchel charge there if you didn't get the other ones. But here's your workbench. And there's a few miscellaneous items here too. So one of the things you can do is you can place the satchel charge on the train. You can then stealth your way back into this room. And then you can, from that window right there, you can shoot the satchel charge and blow up the train. However, they're all going to come after you because they've heard where the bullet came from. So I don't recommend doing that. So what we're going to do instead is as soon as we're out of this workbench, we're going to start running. Now, this is just particularly my playthrough. It could be different for yours. So that always changes. And we're going to try to make our way over to where the satchel needs to be placed. You want everything to line up as good as you can. So make sure you pick up some bottles because you're going to need a few for distractions. Run. And then at this point, we're going to crouch, as there is a guard that's going back and forth and you don't want him to hear you while you're running. Now, he will be in different spots. See, sometimes he was heading back already. Other times he'll stay looking in that other direction. But we got lucky enough that he didn't actually see us there. And now head this way. So there's going to be two guys you need to worry about here. The one guy actually stands right next to the satchel. Try to get close to him as quickly as you can, because what you're going to do is that old classic get behind him, and then he does two different things. Either he's going to move to the left or he's going to move to the right. I can't tell you which one he's going to do. Don't worry about that guy up there. He won't be able to see you from this point. This guy decides to go to the left. If he does that, then this is what you're going to want to do. Place the satchel, light a slow fuse, and make your way behind. If he goes to the right, you need to get behind one of those boxes up on top of that middle section and wait for him to go back and then do what I do now. So it just requires you to wait a little bit more depending on if he goes left or right. You want to make yourself over here until the grass as quickly as you can. There's two guards right there. Immediately just go all the way to the back end of this level. It's going to blow up any second. Now, what happens once it blows up is everybody is going to be surrounding this area. So that is why we come all the way over here, because this is the one area that they can't get to just yet. It'll take them a while before they can make it over here. And by that time, we're able to get over to our next area and objectives that we're going to complete. This took me, like I said, 2 hours to figure out that path, because I actually didn't know that you could go behind there and around. I thought that was like going to be blocked off because it's just an endless train yard, and I thought there'd be like an invisible wall or something. But no, you can actually go around the corner and then make your way down here. Like I said, the other things that I tried to do were to use a lot of bottles to distract the two dudes so they would be looking another way while I placed the satchel. The other one I did was place the satchel, then go back into that room with the workbench, shoot it from there. However, it always made the enemies come right up on you. And there's only one, there's 3 ways out, but there's so many enemies that it's almost impossible to get out of that room without anyone seeing you.
In the town's fanciest hotel. Tyranny always did have a taste for luxury.
All right, so this is our...
Bloody hell. This place is crawling with Nazis. Must be Gestapo HQ for the entire region. Can't afford to get caught here.
last main objective. Now, I always try to do my best not to talk during cutscenes. Obviously, this is after the fact commentary because I have to focus, and I'm still sick, so I'm doing my commentary after the fact as opposed to doing it during. So you got 2 guards right there. The thing about them is they will stay exactly where they are until you get close enough, until their script starts to go, and then they'll start moving. So go ahead and move your way. What's going to be down these stairs is a room that you cannot unlock from this side. It's the basement that you need to get into for one of your main objectives. However, you can't unlock it from this side. But it's a way to exit if you wanted to exit once you go down in there, but you're not going to want to if you're doing the way that I'm doing it. So at this point, we're going to get back down into the prone position. They should not be able to see you, and there is going to be an entrance into the back of the hotel. There is a lot of guards here, so everything you see me do, it just needs to be perfect. Make sure you pick up the Penthouse key. You actually really don't need to pick up the Penthouse key, to be honest, if you follow my route. But that Penthouse key is also something you can get into if you don't follow my route and you choose a different way. What we're going to be doing is heading up. This is our main objective. It's going to be up these stairs. There is another collectible that we can get as well, but first we need to grab the first of the clues. Now, to get this first clue, we're actually going to go down into that area you saw where that door was shut that we couldn't unlock from that side. So go underneath here, the elevator shaft. There are no guards down here, so you don't have to worry about guards. There's that door. What you're going to need to do is take a photo. And that'll be step 1 of the 2 objectives you need to do for this main objective.
This is bad. Looks like we're dealing with a chemical super weapon. But the Nazis don't use stuff like that on the battlefield. Well, till now.
So we're going to go back the original way. But you can also pick up this box here. Like I said, these things you don't really need to get, as they're just miscellaneous items that are staged throughout the map. They never have any collectibles inside them, at least none of the ones that I've done so far. If you wanted to exit, you can exit here and go back that same original route again, but you don't need to, as our next things that we need to do is going to be up here. Now, as far as what we're doing, again, there's 2 objectives left for us. I saved the kill for the ending. So we're going to grab this is the big one, the big main mission objective here. Make sure the guy is not looking, of course, so we're going to head upstairs. Now, there are guards that patrol each floor. There's about 2 or 3 guards that patrol. Some of them will be in rooms going in and out. Others will be just going up and down the hallways. So you do need to be careful and, you know, just be nice and stealth-like. Here's a guard right here, as you can see. Once he passes, then we're going to head behind him. There is nothing on this second floor, first floor being the ground floor, and then this being the second floor.
Ich fürchte, dass sowas hier als Luxusunterbringung durchgeht.
There will be a collectible on the third floor. It's in a locked room, and the only way to get there is via a window. So just follow the route that I'm taking you, and then go to the right here. I don't show them, but there are guards that are patrolling these hallways. Now we're going to head to... this is actually the exit that'll get you to the penthouse right there, but we're going to come back to that a little bit later. What we're going to do is head back out into the hallway. You'll start to see a guard here. One of the guards is in this room here. You just saw him very briefly. And right there, that room is locked, but it is where the collectible that we need to get. So we can do that via this window. And you can see that we're right out in front of that main area. You remember when we ran across the street with the cars and we hid under the little bridge thing, and then we waited for them to finish talking, and then we grabbed the document. Well, that's pretty much where we're right out in front, and you'll see it here in just a moment. We're getting close. We have 16 of 19 at this point. So only 3 left. So this time we're going to keep going along the left side, because the guard will start patrolling where we came out the last time. And if you look and you notice where that area we need to go next to get to the penthouse is actually towards this direction. You can see the guy that's straight across there, so just make sure he can't see you. And then head into here and then go through the window as well. Directly to your right is going to be a pipe that you can take. Now, this is the guard that I have to KO. I tried everything I could to not KO him. The reason is because there is obviously that main objective that we're grabbing, the letter, and also there are 2 stone eagles that we need to shoot. You can shoot those stone eagles. You don't have to shoot them from here, but this is the best location to shoot them from, and I'll show you why. So yes, he cannot, you can actually get by without taking him out, but it's much easier to get everything if you do it here. Just 1 cave.
Intel on the super weapon project, and its name, Kleiner Bloomer. Plus references to a dozen or so locations across France. This Nazi scheme might be bigger than we thought.
My suggestion is don't stand right here because one of the guards is going to look directly across. So you need to immediately at this point move. You need to immediately go to the left or else that guard is eventually going to see you. So again, I tried, oh my gosh, I spent so long trying to figure out, trying to do different distractions, but I just decided we got to take him out. If you want to get the stones here in this location and not have anybody be alerted, you need to take him out. Of course, we're just going to pacify. So what we're going to do now is kind of fun. We are going to turn on the radio. And when the radio is on, and then we shoot these stone eagles, no one will hear it, and therefore no one will start to panic and go all around and do all that good stuff. So there is a radio, or not radio, but a phonograph player right here, or record player. So what you're going to try to do is angle yourself to where you can see the, right there it is. Now, it's a hard shot, so aim a little bit up, right where you see me, and then hopefully you'll be able to get it. But you want to do that when there is some noise going on. That way, you're not giving your position away. But always check, because you never know. So continually check to make sure nobody is like, you know, trying to get or locate you or anything like that. So the second one is a little tougher to do because you can see that once you come outside, your noise meter goes away. And this one, and that's that area that we were at in earlier, that big luscious area. This one's a little tricky because it's on the right side. So what you want to try to do is angle yourself perfectly. It takes me a few moments to get the perfect angle. Because this was, you know, this was after I've already spent about an hour or so figuring out how to do this with the guy still roaming around. You know, you turn, the thing is you turn on the record player and he goes and turns it off. So, that guy, he's got to be taken out. I mean, there's nothing you could really do unless you already have the stones, which you could have got from that location that I showed you. But at that point, then all the enemies would have come closer to you there, and it would have been much tougher to sneak around. So it's a trade-off. You know, you have to ask yourself, what's more important, 1 knockout or 0 knockouts and taking the stones out and having guys up on you, you know. Just have to ask yourself that. So once you get the correct location here, then you can shoot it. Might take you a few shots, as you can see. But luckily, because the meter's going on, nobody hears it, and we're good to go. As you can see, everybody is still going around like nothing happened. And now we have all exfiltration points. We don't need, it's not a mandatory thing to grab the kill. So, and we're pretty much almost good to go. There's still 2 collectibles left. But you could exfiltrate at this point if you didn't want to do the other things. But that's not our style. So here, there's going to be a guard that patrols at the bottom right. You see him moving around. You can see where the zip line goes to. So you want to make sure that his line of sight is out and away from you by the time you use the zip line. There's also a guard on the left up further. He will not be able to see you at this point. So as soon as he's equal to where you're going to land, go ahead and use the zip line. And then immediately turn around and head in this direction. And then once you're away from the other guy, start running a little bit and get down immediately. Now, you'll notice that there is a guy that's looking down in this area in the window, but because it's nighttime and it's a little darker, he doesn't get any spot on you, and you're good. He's up in that window right there. So just keep moving, and you should be good to go. I would say this next section was the hardest That is because there is actually quite a bit of enemies in this little area where the kill guy is. So there's a few things we're getting that we still have yet to get. So there's a guy here. You need to wait for him to turn around, of course. What we're still needing to get is a workbench. There's the kill target, and the specific way we have to take him down is to use cargo. There's also some document papers or whatever, another collectible that you need to get that's in the tower shack with a guard in it. And we need to do that without knocking him out. So that's really, really tough. And there's a sniper who patrols that area too, so it makes it even tougher. Plus, there is the third starting location that we'll need to get as well. This was definitely, so far, the hardest part of the game for me, was to get this. I tried many different ways. I tried, taking out the kill target first after I grabbed the workbench, but then it makes getting the document in the tower almost impossible because everybody's just roaming around, because obviously they heard you kill someone and there's like 6 enemies just right there and you can't even get into the tower. So you don't want to, so we're going to save the kill for the last thing that we do. So that way when we exfiltrate, we'll immediately go once we get it. I hope that makes sense. So a lot of trucks coming through here, so wait until you see a truck coming from that left side. And then there's a motorbike right behind. They go really slow. Alright, so what we need to do is make our way straight across as long as no one's coming. But as you can see, they just keep coming. I mean, these trucks, they really, really love to pass this part of the map. Alright, once he's done, now you can go ahead and move, but make it quick because the motorcycle's coming back around. And we're going to head down here. We'll be coming right back to this location because this is where we're going to make the kill, right here, so that we can head towards the exit immediately. But what we're going to do is it'll showcase the particular guy you need to take out. Just get close to him and it'll automatically let you know the guy.
Claude Ronde, collaborator, traitor. A lot of innocent people got a one-way ticket to Germany because of him.
His pattern is a big pattern. He'll stay in those areas where you need to get the cargo kill for a while, but he'll also go away from it, which can take a lot longer too, and you'll see kind of what happens there. But here is the third. This one, I believe, is the rifle workbench. So if you want to continue to upgrade stuff, like I said, the more collectibles you get, the more, different sights and stuff like that you can unlock to make your weapons a little bit better. Now, I killed him from inside here, but like I said, then we're stuck in this building because everybody just surrounds it. So my suggestion is to run up here, and this is a really tough strat to do. And that's because this guy is going to turn around. So where we're going is up these stairs here. That is where the final collectible actually is. And there is a guard right there. Luckily enough, for whatever reason, the game doesn't trigger you touching the guy, so you don't have to take him out. Otherwise, you would have had to have taken him out. You can see how close we get to him. It's really tough, too, because of the way the controls work, but you can get around, grab the document. Now, there's a sniper who is in that tower straight across there. He makes this next section really, really tough. But as you can see, we picked up every collectible, so there you go. If you were just looking for all collectibles, you've got them. We still got one alternate starting point to get as well, though, but that's not included in the collectibles. Okay, so stick here, because this sniper guy can spot you really quick if you put yourself out in the open at all. It's really tough to see him, but he's in that window up there. He just kind of does a back and forth. So your main target here is right below you too, so you can't move just yet. You have to wait for the sniper guy to look away, and then you also have to wait for him to start standing up and then move. The timing here is very, very minimal, because the other guy down who's doing his patrol can sometimes see you or move too quickly. So you need to get over here as quickly as you can and then turn into this. Notice how we did that just in time. Notice how he just turned around. So we need to wait for this guy. So you probably didn't notice, but there is a generator directly to our right and behind us. I tried different strategies, and I'll once we come up to the point where we're taking out the target, I tried different strategies to make sure that people wouldn't be aware that from across the map. So what happens is that when you take a target out like this, the entire map knows what the hell's going on. And that makes it so hard because everybody they kind of like just start magnetizing on you. And that really sucks. So it makes it a lot tougher. But you can actually use the generator so that nobody can hear it besides the people that are inside. But so what we're going to do here first is grab the location. And then we're going to circle back around to that point I told you about earlier. And then we're going to do the kill from there. I found that this was the safest way for me to do it. Now, I would say I spent about 45 minutes on this part coming up here in the next 5 minutes, trying different ways to see if I hit the generator. If I don't hit the generator, will the sniper see me from whatever angle? Because it's a big shot we have to take the guy out, and it's really tough. Yeah, so go ahead and grab your starting location. Now, you can also do the kill from here if you want. However, there is no exit right here. So now there is exits in different directions that you can try to go, but I decided I was going to go for the different exit. But if you wanted to, you could do the kill from here. However, he is already back in the location that is away from these crates. He's all the way back to the left side of the workbench. So what I'm going to do, because of the fact that he's all the way back behind there, is we're going to make our way back to exactly where we came in from. The reason I'm doing this is because the location that I'm going to exit is going to be across the bridge. Because there's so many enemies in that right side there that I didn't want to try to exit that way. But it's really essentially, no matter what you do, when you take this guy out, it's automatically going to just cause a lot of enemies to just like kind of run around and panic, right? There's no alarm. Nobody sees you. Nobody knows it's you. Nobody knows anything. It's still 100% stealth. But, you know, in these situations where you have to do the kills in a particular way and you're not knocking anyone out, it's just impossible for no one else or anyone to not just circle your location, which is why we want to put ourselves at a location to where we can exfiltrate as quickly as possible. Because if you stay in this location for too long, they're just going to come right to you. It's like they know exactly where you are. The game is programmed to be like, okay, he just did this. We know where the player is, and then they will all start coming towards you. It's almost like you have a timer at this point to finish the level, because they're just going to just start coming on you. I mean, that sounds awful. I'm so sorry I said it that way. But this is where we're going to do it from. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to wait until he makes his way back. You know, I'm kind of waiting to see if he's going to come out now, but he doesn't yet. But by the time we get up to where we're looking, we'll see that he's going to come out at that point. So essentially, we're going to move up. We're going to find out exactly where he is, and then we're going to get back into this position. There is a sniper on top of this building to our right. So you need to also understand that he's up there. This is why we got to do this quick. So, okay, he's finally heading in the direction we want him to, which means he's going to do two things. He's going to get right in front of the first one, and then give it about 3 minutes. He'll move, and then he'll get right in front of the second one. So you have two opportunities, two different cargoes to drop on him. We're going to do this first one. Now, you see the shiny thing? That's the generator that you can shoot. And I'm going to tell you, the sniper is on that other side across from it. We're not going to use that exfiltration point because that's too hard to actually get. We're going to go across the bridge again. Watch out for the truck, of course. Stand over here. We're pretty much essentially as far back as you can. If you go to the right and you go up on that roof, that's where a sniper is located. right up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in this back corner here, and we're going to pay attention to see where this guy is. We're not going to do the generator. You can do the generator, and it will make less people follow you, but because of how we're exiting, we don't need to worry about that. We can go ahead and shoot the thing and get out of there. So there's that guy. You cannot shoot this when he is looking. You have to wait until that sniper up there is not looking. Now you shoot it, objective complete, and start running. Now, a lot of people are going to start panicking, moving around, and all that kind of stuff, and they're going to start heading towards you. So we're going to go in this direction. Remember earlier I told you when we were crossing the bridge that there was a ladder that you could take? There's a guard right there. You can't see him right now, so you want to get up against cover here. Now, he could be in a different location on your playthrough. I don't know. I can't help you with that. You know, when I do my walkthroughs in some games, you just don't know. Unless you do everything exactly the same time I do, I can't tell you where any particular enemy is going to be. That's different in games like Splinter Cell where it's always the same unless you interrupt their AI for any reason. But games like this, things different can happen when you do a main objective like that alerts a lot of people, and there's nothing you can do about that. It has to happen. Then you just don't know where they're going to be. So there's a guy here. They're going to start to slowly come this way. That's why you want to hurry and do this. Make your way around, and we're going to take this little exit down here. There is one guy who's coming in this direction. You can see him right there. He won't make you out just quick. So just make sure he hasn't locked onto you or anything like that, and you're good to go. So the exit's right up these stairs. However, there are still vehicles that come up and down, and there's 2 patrolling guards. So all you really want to do is we are going to wait for this guy to come this direction. This gives plenty of time for the truck to go by and for the guy that patrols the area where the exfiltration is to be looking in a different direction. So it works out perfectly. So he's coming this way. We're going to use one of our bottles, and then we're going to throw it behind him so that he starts to go back in that direction. Once he does that, make your way up the stairs. Now, what you're looking for is going to be one of the sewers. This was the first time I made it this far, so I actually had no clue where the exfiltration exact point was. I didn't see it right there. But it's not just you exiting here. It's actually it's just a little spot that you need to hit, and then you'll do it literally right there, exfiltrate. So
Mission fulfilled. Reconnaissance carried out by Hawker confirms the Nazis have been transporting high volumes of specialized equipment, the nature of which strongly implies their superweapon project to be chemical in its nature. A cargo manifest acquired by Hawker further confirms this thesis. In addition to the equipment, vast quantities of chemicals are being transported by rail through and from Fourvière. Fortunately, we have a lead as to where. Intel recovered from Gestapo offices have revealed a number of sites with ties to the superweapon project, which we now know to be called Kleine Blume. Of particular interest is Site D, which we believe to be the manufacturing plant for the weapon. While our on-site codebreaker deciphers the final Vertigo files to identify the precise location of Site D, a new and urgent matter has come to light, requiring Captain Hawker's immediate attention.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. We got the optional objective, which is a star, the mission complete, which is a star, and the kill list Claude is a star as well. And we also unlocked an achievement for completing mission number 3. We are currently at level 11. And we got some new unlocks. And you can see our stealth, no alarms, bodies discovered 1, and of course that's the kill target that we had to take out. There's nothing you can do unless you knock everybody out in the area, then nobody will find it. But we're not doing that. And of course, 1 kill, 1 enemy unconscious because we knocked out the 1 guy in the top of the hotel. And that's it. There you go. I don't know what the 23 detection score means because I never know if I get detected. Obviously, I'm never getting detected in this game. However, I think the detection score relies on if someone gets a glimpse of something, then they start to investigate. I think that's what that means. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next mission. Leave a like. It helps.